This man Mildenberger, whatever the result here, is going to live in German memory for a long time. He took a very hard straight right again. That same punch that's giving him all his trouble. The traditional answer to a southpaw, the right hand. Once again, the champion looks supremely confident. They can't quite finish him, but he might be doing it now. Mildenberger must be very near the end of the road now, and he's gone into the ropes, and I think that may be it. And it is. Teddy Waltham has stopped it in the 12th round, and I make the time 1 minute and 28 seconds of the 12th round, the same round in which Muhammad Ali beat Floyd Patterson last year in Las Vegas. And so the 12th round it is for Karl Mildenberger, the European heavyweight champion from Germany, who's put up a wonderful fight, one of the best battles certainly we've seen for the heavyweight championship in recent years. A much better performance, I think, than any challenger so far has put up against Muhammad Ali, the former Cassius Clay. And so the 24-year-old Ali has made his 6th defense of the title, another successful one. 26 fights and 26 wins for the champion. Muhammad Ali, champion of the world.
After that decisive 12-round TKO versus Germany's Karl Mildenberger, Muhammad Ali was back in the ring only a month later, putting his heavyweight title on the line against Cleveland Big Cat Williams. This fight would feature what some consider one of Ali's most spectacular knockouts. Here's Ali versus Williams, round 3 at the Astrodome.
Here's the bell. Here's that fighter. We'll go away. It may not last long. Williams gets hit to the left. He has nothing to lose now but to throw bombs. He's been down 3 times. Takes a right short by Clay. Clay hitting him almost at will. Williams, with that age, apparently slowing him up. And he's a target. Here's a left and a right by Clay. Backing away, goes into a shuffle. A right, left, right by Clay, a left. Williams trying to protect himself. Can't do it. Left to the face, a left and a right. Williams down. He may not get up. 2, 3, he's over in Clay's corner. He does get up at 5, wobbling. This is the 4th knockdown. Mandatory 8 count, and he now is bleeding at the mouth. Here he is up. Clay goes after him. Clay has a target now. 4 knockdowns already. He's hitting with a barrage of left and right. Left, right, left. It's all Clay. Williams now jabs a little bit, but no effect. Throws another jab. Clay feels he's got him now. Cuts him on the back of the ear and almost knocked him down. But Williams now stand-up style, backing away. Clay hits him with a left to the face. Williams doesn't quite know what to do. He's been hurt badly. Takes a left and a right in his own corner. Right, and the referee stops the fight. It's all over. Clay wins by a technical knockout in round number 3. The time, 1 minute, 51 seconds. Harry Kessler stops the fight. The winner by a technical knockout and still heavyweight champion of the world, Cassius Clay.
Next up on ringside, Ali takes on Ernie Terrell in a 1967 fight. The verbal jabs stinging as much as the shots from Ali's left hand. Terrell baited the champ, calling him Clay, refusing to acknowledge Ali's Muslim name. But Muhammad, as usual, had the last word.
I don't really hate no one, but I don't like him for his actions and the way he was acting and insisting on calling me Cassius Clay, knowing that my name now is Muhammad Ali. And I'm a Muslim, and whenever this is discussed as serious, I don't play with the religion.
Back here at Gleason's Gym, ringside on ESPN Classic, Brian Kenny, George Chuvalo, and Burt Randolph Sugar. We go to 1967. Ernie Terrell is up next for the heavyweight champion. 2 years before Ali fought Terrell, you fought him, George. What type of fighter was he?
Well, Ernie is far from an aggressive fighter, and
you can say boring if you want.
Boring, yeah, very boring. A nice guy, but a boring fighter. And when I fought him, I thought I won the fight. He got the decision, but he threw a jab and it would come to about here, and I'd block it here. I thought if I even had my hand down, I don't think it would have hit me if I dropped hand, because he punched and pulled back at the same time. But anyway, having said that, I still lost the fight as far as the judges were concerned. And
you don't sound like you feel you lost the fight.
No, I definitely lost the fight. First of all, Sammy Lussom, the referee, was intimidated by Bernie Glickman, the manager of record for Terrell, and he muscled him just like he muscled my manager, Irving Ungerman, who was scared to death of Glickman, because he said he was gonna, if I won the fight, he'd put him in a cement box in Lake Ontario. Driving to the fight, I remember Irving hitting the dash at least 20 times. I said, "What's the matter with you?" So I'm nervous. But you look out at the lake shore at Lake Ontario, see the breakwater, and he'd think of himself in a cement box at the bottom of the lake.
So you think it was a done deal?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. I mean, that's why I got the fight with Ali. 17 days before the fight, Terrell pulled out of the fight because his manager was beaten up so badly by Herbert Muhammad's henchmen, and taken him to the hospital, beaten within an inch of his life. From there, he went right to a mental institution where he never saw the light of day again.
He tried to put those tactics on Ali's people then?
Yeah, yes, he did. But Herbert Muhammad's no Irving Ungerman. You know, he just went like that, and a couple of his henchmen came over and beat the living daylights out of Bernie Glickman. That's the last we heard of Bernie Glickman.
Colorful anecdotes from George Chuvalo.
Yes.
That's incredible stuff. No, we appreciate that.
Wait a minute, is this Ringside or is this America's Most Wanted? Am I on the right show?
Bert, talk about the turbulence now of the time with Ali, with his stand against the war and everything that was circulating around him as he's defending his title.
Well, he was a storm center. I mean, he had said, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong," and which was just an ad-lib remark, but it got worldwide headlines. The boxing organizations were threatening to strip him. They hadn't yet until he failed to step forward for the draft. He was really banned in Boston and every other city, and that's how it came to Canada. They needed a site, and he just was. If he was unpopular before because of his braggadocio, he was treble unpopular now because of his stance on the Vietnamese War, which had not taken on the complexity of an unwinnable war yet. In other words, there was still the belief that we were going to win this war, and here's somebody standing up against the government saying, "I ain't going."
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we give him an awful lot of credit for his principled stand. Lately, there's I wouldn't call it a deification, but there is so much about Ali and the greatness, and yet there is another side. When you can talk to former fighters and Floyd Patterson or Joe Frazier, or what he was able to say to Ernie Terrell, there was cruelty from Ali in this period, that it wasn't all about love all of the time.
No, we have a revisionist history, which is, in the main, easier to do than sometimes following if you don't want to. Muhammad Ali treated Ernie Terrell terribly in the ring. He is punishing him. He's not just beating him. And he's doing it consciously. Almost as he had with Floyd Patterson. Every punch is punctuated by, "What's my name?" Because Terrell has had Patterson's call him Clay.
Right. And you know what's interesting to me is that Jim Brown, who was at the forefront of many civil rights and an activist and ardent in fighting for rights, is someone who was calling, during the Chuvalo fight, during your fight, George, he's calling him Clay. So it wasn't just, if you called him Clay at that time, you were an Uncle Tom, you were selling out. It couldn't have been that. There still had to be a lot of gray area there, that it wasn't as if, well, look, he's not with the struggle because he's still calling him Clay. There had to be a little more ambiguity there.
There was. I mean, we always are somehow, some way, somewhere caught up in our mental underwear when a man is known as Cassius Clay. Up to this point now he's Muhammad Ali. To Howard Cosell's minor, I think at his minor credit, he is the first to call him Muhammad Ali, but very few others did. In the cards for your fight, he's called Cassius Clay.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel the sting of his, verbiage? Was Ali, how did he act toward you when you fought him twice?
When he came to Toronto, he was in a very somber mood, and there was talk then of him going to jail if he didn't change his mind with respect to the draft, and he was in a very somber mood. But he was treated very well in Toronto. He was treated very well, and he was very appreciative of that. But he was in a somber mood. He wasn't the same kind of Ali that we'd seen before or after.
We're going to hear that right now, too, as well. Here's the fight with Ernie Terrell. Again, the fight with commentary from Ali alongside Howard Cosell from the ABC Sports studio shortly after that bout at the Astrodome.
Once again, I'm Howard Cosell, and with me here in ABC's New York studios is, of course, the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. Now we're about ready to show you selected rounds of last Monday's heavyweight championship fight in the Astrodome in Houston. We shall begin with round one, and Ali, if you will, I'd like you to do the voiceover as we view the initial round of the contest.
Well, yes, Howard, I'll be glad to. As you know from hearing the radio of the fight, now there I am saying my prayers to Allah, as I usually do before every fight. As I was saying earlier, I'm glad the people in the American television audience who have been distorted by the press and their view of the fight, they can actually watch this now. There I just hit him with a flurry of punches.
You started fast.
Well, yes, I always like to start off fast sometimes, especially in this case. Now I'm concentrating on just moving, feeling him out, dancing from side to side, staying on my toes, and Terrell is stalking me. I understand that his intentions were to corner me. As you see, he's missing his jabs by a long range, and I understand from reading the press write-ups that blindness caused him to miss in the later rounds. And I'm sure that if he was blind, which I don't believe he was, he can't hit me now.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop editorializing unless I ask you a question as we go. I don't want to distract the viewers from the fight, and I want to make it very clear to the viewers around this country that when you say the press is distorted, this is you speaking, your opinion, not the views necessarily of ABC or Howard Cosell.
Right, and this is not only me speaking, the movie that you're watching now is speaking also.
Let's let the film speak for itself.
And I'll speak along with it.
In terms of boxing.
He just rabbit punched me once, which was a foul. Now he's hitting and holding, that's a foul. He's hitting and holding, that's a foul. And I heard nothing about that in the press and the critics. There I just jabbed him. There he just missed about 2 jabs.
George Chavallo worked with me at ringside, scored the fight for me, gave this round to Terrell. So did many of the writers.
Well, if you watch it, it's easy to see that I'm winning. If you know anything about boxing, he's rabbit punching me now, and that's about 6 fouls he just landed. About 6 fouls I read nothing about in the press. He hasn't touched my face yet, and I think I've hit him a good 10 times in the face, so I don't see how he won that round. He just missed that jab. He caught me with very few jabs. He just missed that.
Yeah, but you kept moving in the way you did against Liston in Miami Beach.
Yes, I always move.
All right, you were respectful of him at this stage of the fight, weren't you?
Yeah, I respect all of my opponents. I just hit him with another jab there before he... Now he's rabbit punching again. That's another foul right there.
And that's the end of round one. We'll be back with the start of round two right after this message. All right, we're ready for round two. Ali, you take over.
I'd like to say highway for the press and the people who will be watching the fight, and on the behalf of ABC, that this is unrehearsed, and I'm speaking on my behalf, and I'd like to tell all of the critics there not to criticize Howard Cosell, because he's only doing his job at interviewing me and showing the fight, and I'm talking for myself and in defense of myself.
We don't want this to be a forum for you. Let's be clear about that. Tell us about the fight.
Yes, Howard, that's... Now you see me putting my guard out and blocking his punches before he threw them. This is a style that Jack Johnson used. I'm feeling him out mostly, staying on my toes. They told me he had a hard, fast left, and I'm watching that also. There he's fouling me now with 2 and hitting on holding and hitting 2. He committed about 5 legal fouls there. And I'm saying this because so much emphasis is put on me and my fouling. There's 3 more fouls he just committed there. And the referee now is telling him to keep his punches up. As you see, he was hitting me low, below my belt. And I think it's real hypocritical to, there he just butted me in my stomach. And if I had moved, he would have hung himself in the ropes. But it was my body that stopped him from running outside the ring. There, just hit him with an uppercut and 2 hooks. That's another jab.
Why isn't he using the left the way everyone expected?
Well, Howard, he tried, but I just wasn't there. And as you see, he's jabbing, but he's missing. And this is before the time that he was supposed to have been blind, and they say he saw 2 or 3 figures. Well, the way he's punching now, he still sees 2 or 3 figures. Films don't lie. That's why I'm glad the people here in the American public can watch and see the film at the same time. And I'd also like to say that the sports writers who were at the fight, the way they wrote about the fight was really terrible, and I just hope that the news writers that we have reporting news from other countries are not as wrong as they are, because it's be hard to tell them to get the truth.
Let's not have a political forum, Muhammad.
I have to defend myself, Howie. All of the press and the people were against me for just doing my job and beating Ernie Terrell. He was out to beat me, and I was out to beat him. And as far as the fight being a brutal 15 rounds is concerned, that's up to the referee. It's his job to stop it if he think it deserves stopping. It's up to the doctor to stop the fight and the judges. So don't criticize and condemn me for whooping Ernie Terrell, because either he was going to beat me or I was going to beat him. I just did my job.
We'll be back with more of the 1967 Muhammad Ali-Ernie Terrell fight. For program information, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword ringside.